everybody, and welcome back to Cooking with Miss Cindy. I'm Miss Cindy from the South Brunswick Public Library. And I got a confession, I love cookies. I actually dressed up as Cookie Monster this past Halloween, and it wasn't all that different from how I am because I just love cookies all the time. And one thing that I really love especially is a nice, warm, like gooey chocolate chip cookie fresh from the oven. But let me tell you this, I do not like having to whip out and make dough and then end up with like 25 cookies that I'm not going to eat all at once, and it's kind of a waste. It's hard to make just one cookie in the oven, and it's really not worth it. But what I have discovered is that you can make sort of a thick, gooey chocolate chip cookie in a mug in your microwave. And the prep work, once you have it all said and done, it's about maybe 5 minutes of prep, and then it's like a minute in the microwave. So within 10 minutes, which is way faster than it is to even cook a batch of cookies once you already have the dough ready, you can have a nice, warm, thick chocolate chip cookie in a mug that you can have as is. I like to have mine with some cold milk, or even as a kind of dessert with a scoop of ice cream. So, as I mentioned before, this is a microwave meal only, and you cook it in a mug. So it's going to be super easy. It doesn't require the use of ovens or baking pans or sheets or anything like that. So, let's go. Okay, so we're going to get started on our very warm, very comforting mug cookie. It's going to be a chocolate chip cookie. But first, I'm going to show you what you're going to need. You're going to need butter. You're going to need regular white sugar. You're going to need brown sugar, vanilla extract, salt, 1 egg, flour, and chocolate chips. So these are very small amounts that we're working with, so it's going to make 1 mug cookie, which is nice because making a whole thing of cookies is kind of annoying when you only want just the 1 serving. So let me show you how you're going to do this. So first you're going to take your microwave safe mug, and we're going to melt a tablespoon of butter into it. Now most butters, if you look on the packaging, actually will have the measurements already cut into them, or not cut into them, drawn on to the package. So you'll be able to tell what 1 tablespoon is. So that's going to be really easy to measure. But if not, if you're using a margarine or a butter that's not in a stick form, you can always grab a tablespoon, scoop out a tablespoon, and put that in the mug. So this is going to get microwaved for about 30 seconds until the butter melts. Okay, this took about 45 seconds, but my butter is completely melted. So now we are going to add 1 tablespoon of white sugar. Just pour a little bit in there. Alright, 1 tablespoon of the white sugar. 1 tablespoon of the brown sugar. Now, brown sugar has a clumpier, kind of almost wetter texture. And so what you want to do is you want to put it in there and pack it. To pack is just to kind of push it down and then add more until it's full. Firmly packed is the words that you'll see in a recipe really often, and that just means they want to be really pushed in there. But it comes out all in kind of one big clump. So it was a tablespoon of that. You're going to want half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, our old friend. Okay. And just a pinch of salt. I know, again, it sounds weird to have salt in a dessert, but salt is so important. Just a pinch will do. It really, really will bring out so many of the flavors. So you're going to take a fork and just mix it all up in there till it's combined. Okay, that is all done. So now we're going to add not a whole egg, but just the egg yolk. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Now you might have something at home, check your kitchen, check your cabinets, that will separate an egg from the egg white from the egg yolk. It's called an egg separator. I don't have that. I've never really found a need for it personally. And my mom, when she cooked, she just did this by hand. So that's how I learned to do it as well. So what I usually do is I take an egg, I crack it open, and I just let it go between my fingers. I open my fingers slightly so that the white goes through, and I keep the yolk in my hand. See? So now egg white, and I have egg yolk. And the egg yolk, the yellow part, is what's going to go into the cookie. Just wipe my hands, and make sure you wash your hands well after this before you start eating or touching other stuff in the kitchen. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, my hands are clean, and now we're going to take our egg yolk, pierce it with the fork, and mix it. And this is a step that you definitely don't want to skip. You want to mix it really, really well so that the egg yolk is fully mixed in. You don't want to see little bits of yellow. You want it to be incorporated. Okay, so now that that is all mixed in, it's time to add our flour. So for the flour, you're going to need 3 tablespoons. And remember what I've shown you guys before. Get it, and then make sure you pass over it so it's just the 3, 2, and 3, just to make sure it's nice and level. So we're going to stir this in as well. And you want to mix it just until the flour is incorporated. You don't want to over mix it, so don't go crazy stirring. You just want to make sure that everything is mixed nicely and gently. So this is your very basic chocolate chip cookie dough. Except for now you need the chocolate chips. So you're going to take 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips. Now what I like to do is take 1 tablespoon and mix that in. Yeah, see, doesn't that look like a cookie dough already? And then what I like to do is sprinkle the other tablespoon right on top. Now this is going to go in the microwave for 40 to 50 seconds. Absolutely do not leave it in there for more than 50 seconds. When you're making cookies, it's always better to underbake them a little bit than to overbake them, because they will bake on their own at the end with the warmth that they're still holding on to. So you don't want to overbake it, because it'll end up kind of dry and crumbly and not as good as if you had just left it. So 40 seconds it is. Okay, I zoomed in a little bit so you could see what the cookie looks like now. You'll see it's nice and warm. You see it's kind of solidified, but it's still soft. The cookie chips have melted. Still hot. The cookie chips have melted, and I'm going to wait until it cools. I'm going to give it maybe about a minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and have it. You can have this with a little bit of milk on the side, some juice. You can have this with a dollop of ice cream on top. The possibilities are endless. But it's better to have it while it's still warm. So you want it to cool a little to take some of the excess heat off, but you don't want it to cool all the way until it's room temperature or cold. You still want it to be a little bit warm. So that is it for me on this Cooking with Miss Cindy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned how to make something new and warm and delicious. And we will see each other again next time on Cooking with Miss Cindy. Bye.